Do you have elbow pain? Maybe it's a golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, whether it's the inside or the outside of the elbow. When people come to me and they have elbow pain, I really, honestly don't really care that much which side of the elbow it's on, because I look at it differently, okay? And I'm gonna teach that to you today. When you think of the elbow, you just think like, it's kind of a simple joint, right? Just a hinge joint, just that's all he does. It's not really that exciting, okay? But we have so many muscles in the whole shoulder girdle, it's a funny word. And when you think when those muscles get tight for some reason, from overstretching or from falls or from working out when you're tired, I actually wrote like a little blog on my website about that, like how do I get tight? You might want to check it out, huntermethod.com. But so you think like, okay, so these muscles get tight and then the nerves have a hard time getting through, and then we feel pain either there or somewhere else. And sometimes we feel it in the elbow. So you know what muscle is the biggest instigator with elbow pain? Pec muscles. A long time ago, I had a client and he had both elbows were just killing him forever. And he's like, oh my gosh. So when I made him better, he's like, I know that when the pec muscles are tight and pressing on the nerve pathway that goes to the elbows, like that's one of the main causes. So then when any of his buddies had elbow pain, he would like try to poke him in the chest, like, do you feel that? Oh, is that tender? You know, and he thought that was funny. I think it's funny too. But okay, so today I'm going to show you how to use just your own hands to help your elbow pain. All right, let's get started. Okay, so elbow pain. So one of the biggest culprits, like I said before, is the chest muscles. So you're going to find a chair or somewhere where you can gently push back into the chair. We put this pillow here just because I was blending in with the chair. You couldn't see it all. But it's just so lazy. You're just here and then you're just pushing your elbow back. You're just going weep like this, weep. But gentle, like not really hard. Everything we do is like to try to get the brain to make the change. So you want to just be really lazy movement. So you're just sitting in your chair and you're going to push back. Now, your chest muscles, right? So I want you just to feel your collarbone. Say like, ooh, I feel my collarbone, all right? Collarbone. And then just right underneath it, I want you just to take your hands and you're just gonna push into the surface, just take one hand, right? And you're just gonna push in the surface just a little bit. If you're on the surface, and then you just sink in like 1, 2, 3, sink. And then you're gonna push back 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do it together. Touch your chest muscle right here. Sink in 1, 2, 3, and then push back 1, 2, 3. And then your fingers are in now. So don't just pull them out because now you gotta go through all that again, right? So once your fingers are in, you're gonna kind of slide it over to another point and go 1, 2, 3, sink, and then 1, 2, 3, back. And then, so your big job is, like I have this weird gift that I feel things in people, but you can feel it when you touch yourself, right? So you don't need to have any special gift or whatever. You do have a special gift. It's called intuition, and it's also called body awareness, right? And God gave you those gifts. So sometimes we don't really use those gifts. But as you're going around, you're gonna all of a sudden touch a point where it feels like, wow, that one's more sensitive. I need to give that one more attention. So think of the little muscles like they're like little babies, and the babies that are screaming, they get more attention, okay? All right. Babies that are laughing get a lot of attention too, but for right now, we're just gonna do the baby screaming. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, sink, and push back. And you're just gonna get all these. So when you think of chest muscles, right? Like women, we have breast tissue and whatnot, but underneath is still chest muscles. So for women, you're gonna get a little bit lower and you're gonna push your breast tissue out of the way and push back. Also, you wanna get up in here. So this is pec minor here as you get into this corner here. And you're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, sink, 1, 2, 3, sink. And you'll be curious to find out like, wow, I have some tight chest muscle because I have that dang elbow pain, right? All right, good. Okay, so that's for chest. Be really thorough, do both sides. If you feel more your right elbow, you're gonna start on your left side and vice versa. Always start with the least affected side first and then move to your other side. And if I'm really hurt, I just say I'm doing my moves, I'm doing Hunter. I'll do it like on the hour, like 2 sets of 10. I mean, I work a lot and I have to be always feeling good. And honestly, it's like, thank God I usually do, but occasionally I hurt myself or I fall or do something and I'll just treat myself. If I'm awake, I'll just do little treatments. Then when you're feeling good, you don't have to do this. If you and I were 12 and we met, we wouldn't be like, hey, I got to do my moves before I go to the playground. No, you would just wake up and go to the playground, right? Okay, so the second one I want you to do is for the tricep. And just so you know, I have so many moves and so many different things. But when you have elbow pain with the tricep, it's you want to get in a little bit deeper. And so you can actually just press your hand, your arm, depending on how tall you are and stuff. But you're gonna sink in. I would start right above the elbow. So you feel your elbow, be like, ooh, he's so pointy. And then you're gonna come and you're like, ooh, that feels like really like twingy. And then as soon as you start to feel some muscle, you're like, okay, I'm gonna start there. So you're gonna sink in 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna push on your head. So sink in, 1, 2, 3, push on your head, just like that. And you're gonna get the entire tricep. And I want you just to kind of go back and forth, this sink in. The belly of the muscle is the middle of the muscle. And when the belly is tight, the tendons pull. I'm gonna say it again. Because when I learned that, I was like driving one day and I'm like, it's not the tendon, you gotta get the belly. So think of a muscle, right? It's thicker in the middle, that's why they call it the belly, and then it's thinner at the ends. When the muscle is contracted and tight, the ends pull more. So everybody wants to treat the ends, Achilles tendonitis, let's treat the tendons. Don't treat the tendon, get the belly happy, and then he'll stop pulling on the ends. Isn't that awesome? So belly, so what belly of the tricep right here is like right in the middle. So when you feel that, you're like, ooh, so you can just push against your head, get creative, right? And you just push, get all the way to the top of the tricep. You'll be amazed, like, ooh, that's really tight, okay? And so that's tricep. And then the other one you really want to do is bicep. And so bicep is easy. You're just touching your bicep and you start to think like, well, what muscle do I have to fire? Your tricep, right? So here I'm sitting here, so I can do this. I can do this. I can just do this and press into something. Press into something and grab your bicep. Good? Do you see that? I'm just going like this and that's my leg right down there. So I'm pushing and just doing my bicep there. And then the third thing I would do for elbow pain is to try to get this top of your forearm here, okay? And to get the top of the forearm, and then you're gonna be just going like this. It's like, oh dear. And you can just touch the top of the forearm and press on your shoulder just like that. Top of the forearm, Did you hear I said that? Forearm, just press in like that. And it's the thicky part right there, okay? So try those moves, they're gonna help. They're not all the muscles that have to do with the elbow, but there's 3 big ones, especially the chest. You're gonna be surprised. You can also, with the chest one, you can play, like if you have hand stuff or finger stuff, you can just take a little knuckle and press in like that, like a little knuckle, right? And you just like, I call it little noogie, and you can just use a little noogie, or if you're very strong chest, maybe it's harder to get in, but you don't have to crucify it or just like manhandle it. You're just sinking in very slowly and touching. I almost forgot. Do you know what's one of the worst things you can do when it comes to elbow pain? Is stretching your chest really hard, like standing in the corner of the room like you're in trouble. Did you ever do that in school? I was always in trouble. but standing and stretching or trying to pull back and grab onto something and pull, all you're doing is scaring that chest muscle to make it tighter. And the minute you stop doing that, the minute you start doing Hunter, you'll be like, oh, I feel better. And it's not just physical, it's emotional too. I just had a client, she had chest pain for like 5 years, and the doctor was like, just wear a lidocaine patch. And she's like, forever? And anyways, but she was stretching and trying to make it better and everything like that. So she actually, somebody did Hunter to her that, you know, they weren't a therapist or anything. They did Hunter to her, and then they told her like, don't stretch. And you know what? The pain went away. She had it for 5 years. She went to like, I don't know, a ton of people. But not stretching is one of the big things with Hunter method. And that was just something I figured out. I talk about it a lot, but I just wanted to tell you about the elbow pain. Do not stretch your tricep, your chest, or anything. Just leave it alone, okay? All right, so try those out. And I wish you the best. And remember, you deserve a pain-free body that works. So please don't stop before the miracle happens. Okay, bye for now.